After putting quite a bit of time into Escape from Duckov, I thought now would be a great time to share 30 things I wish I knew when I started playing. These tips will be most beneficial to new players and those still in the early to mid game, but there should be a few that benefit everyone. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. The first thing I wish I knew sooner in regards to Escape from Duckov is that you can actually access your warehouse or your stash space from anywhere. Now, normally you would probably go over to the warehouse in this little corner over here, the little locker, press F and get access to it. You can actually do this from anywhere inside the bunker by just pressing tab and gaining access to it quickly. Second thing I wish I knew sooner is going to be to make sure that you upgrade your skill enhancements over here. Now, one thing this game has is there's a lot of things you can upgrade, and I know the one thing that most people are probably going to focus on is expanding their warehouse space because you're going to get tons and tons of items. But make sure you look at other things like the skill enhancement over here, because these are going to be incremental upgrades which over time provide you with a lot of benefit in your runs. You'll get backpack space, you might get extra HP, be able to see further, bonuses to damage multipliers, so on and so forth. And there's quite a bit over here that you want to unlock because in the end, you're going to need these upgrades to be able to do successful runs in the tougher maps. Third thing is going to be to come over to the workbench and make sure that you're upgrading your workbench. So upgrading the workbench is going to give you the ability to craft additional items. It's also going to give you features such as repairing items, dismantling. Number 4 is going to be to take advantage of this mantle feature in the workbench. The reason you're going to want to do this is because you may need an item for a crafting recipe or to complete a quest that you don't have access to, but there's a chance that one of the items you have inside of your warehouse storage can actually be dismantled and give you those pieces. I've had this happen quite a few times. Fifth thing is going to be to always repair your gear at the workbench, either right when you come back to the bunker or before you leave. The reason for this is if your gear gets, if you see this little red bar up here, if this red bar gets too far, I will actually not be able to repair the gear. So I make sure that I come in, and as soon as I come back from a run, the first thing I usually do is go over to my workbench and repair everything to make sure that I won't have to end up losing it or having to craft a new version of it. Number 6 is going to be keep as many things as you can in your stash because you never know when you're going to need them. You can see here I have quite a bit of storage space here, and I'm always filling this up. The reason for that is you never know what kind of item you're going to need. You might need tape at some point, or a clock, or something else, a basket. There was a quest I had to complete where I needed 3 baskets and I only had 1 of them. What I generally try to do is keep 2 or 3, at least 1 of every item, and 2 or 3 of items that I know I may need in the future. You can check your quest to see which ones you need, but items that you don't come across very often, make sure you keep at least 1 of them, if not more, in your storage space. Number 7 is going to be if you're selling items, what you would normally do is probably come over here to the little vending machine here and sell items. And you'll see here, if I click on this first aid kit, it'll say that it's going to sell for 661. And if you sell at any of the other workbenches or any other NPCs, it'll be the same price, except for over here at the kitchen. And this is Vogo. And for some reason, if you go over to Vogo, he's going to give you a little bit more. I don't know if this is intentional or if this is unintentional. But right now, if you're selling stuff, sell it to Vogo at the kitchen because it's going to give you 4% more credits, which in the long run is going to add up very quickly. Number 8 is going to be, while you're over at Vogo, make sure you check to see if you can upgrade your survival skills. So Vogo is going to give you the ability to get some of the nutrition stuff upgraded, which is going to slow your drain of hydration or your energy drain. Vogo is also going to be the one that gives you the fishing quest, so this will help you get extra fish or fishing skills and stuff like that. So make sure you check those out and don't skip out on them. Number 9 is going to be along the same lines. That's going to be to come over to the gym once you have it unlocked and make sure you check the physical training, because physical training, again, these are going to be incremental increases, 2% mobility, 5% multiplier melee damage. And there's quite a few in here. So you're going to want to make sure that you're upgrading these over time and not neglecting them because, again, even though they're small incremental increases, combining them together over time is just going to make you stronger and stronger for your runs as you dive deeper and deeper into the game. The 10th thing I wish I knew sooner is going to be to make sure you check all NPCs for quests. So like all these NPCs, all these crafting stations over here, they're going to have quests associated with them. And what you're going to want to make sure you do is pick these up. You can see that there are a lot of quests in this game. The reason you want to make sure you have all of them active, and like if there's one that was here that was available, I'd go over here, click and make it active like this one is right here. The reason you want to do this is because doing these is obviously going to give you rewards. In this case, this one's going to give me experience sometimes, and they're also going to give you currency. And then they'll sometimes give you other items along with it. Sometimes they unlock the ability to craft items. But what they also do is it's usually like doing one quest for one guy will unlock another quest for that guy, and maybe another quest from someone else. So they're all kind of chained together. So each of these NPCs and even the workbench down here, the computer down here that has nobody at it, the terminal, these all have quests associated with them that doing these quests will give you rewards and also unlock further quests, which you're going to need to progress through the game. Number 11 is going to be to remember to register your keys. So you will find keys out in the world. Now, I don't have any right now, but most keys, except for the safe key, which I'll talk about a little bit later on, can be registered. And what that does is it'll actually, you can check which ones you have registered over here in the master key registry. This will show you all the keys that you found. Once you register them, you no longer need to have them in your inventory to open doors. This is going to be really useful because there are a lot of locked doors. Each of the maps have different locked doors that require different keys. And oftentimes things that are locked behind the locked doors are going to be items that you need, or it might be to complete a quest and stuff like that. So anytime you get a key, make sure you register it. Number 12 is going to be along the same lines, and that's going to be to make sure you do your blueprint research. Now, I don't have any blueprints here, but blueprints are going to give you the ability to craft different items. Some of the blueprints have to be unlocked at the workbench, but others have to be unlocked over here at the medicine table. So if it doesn't work at the workbench, take it over here and see if you can register it here. Number 13 is going to involve going down here to the sewer area underneath of the bunker, and that's going to be to make sure you use your feathers for offerings here to get totems. You can either put 80 in here and get 10 totems, or you can put 8 in here and get 1. There is no difference between the two. It doesn't seem like there's a difference in rarity drop, at least not from what I've seen. Maybe there is, but putting them in here and putting them in here, you have the same chance, it seems like, of getting an offering, or same chance of getting different rarities and stuff like that. So you'll notice here, I just put 1 in here and I got a totem of stamina. And the reason you want the totems is you can equip 2 totems at any time, and they're going to give you bonus stats. So make sure you're not wasting your feathers and that you're actually taking them down here and doing this, because I'll be honest with you, I was probably 10 hours into the game before I remembered that I could come down here and do this. The next set of tips is going to be things that I always do to prepare for runs. So number 14 is going to be always carry a shovel. Now, I'll talk about this a little bit later on, but there are going to be digging spots, and I'll show you what they look like. Always carry a shovel. It can be anywhere in your backpack. You don't have to actually have it equipped in your melee slot. If you walk up to a spot that can use the shovel, you'll be able to use it. But carry this around because there are going to be some digging spots that you can use to get some different loot. Another thing I always carry, and this is going to be number 15, is always carry dynamite. There's going to be walls that you can break with dynamite. There's going to be some other locations where you have to plant the dynamite to break through it to get through it. I always usually carry 2 with me because from up to the point where I am in the game right now, it's only required up to 2. But 1 or 2 dynamite is going to be useful to carry along with you just to make sure you don't end up getting to a point where you get roadblocked and can't get through. Number 16 is going to be to bring healing items with you. You'll notice down here in my hotbar that I have bandages, first aid kits, first aid kit small, regular first aid kit, and the first aid kit large. The reason I bring these is because you are going to take damage when you're playing this game. You're inevitably going to get hit by gunfire. Someone's going to sneak up on you or something like that. And the last thing you want to do is die, because if you die, you drop your bag and then you're going to have to go back and recover it. If you die again, you lose everything. So I always make sure I carry at a minimum 2 or 3 healing items. I try to carry like all 4 of these because they're useful. There's also injectors that you can carry that will help you recover health over time. So just make sure you always have healing items with you, because the last thing you want to do is just run low on health and die because you didn't bring them with you. Number 17 is going to be to make sure you get headphones as soon as possible. The headphones are very useful because you'll notice here they're going to give you sound localization and hearing. What this does is it's going to let you see enemies before they get to you. You'll have like a little, I'll show you when I go out in the actual world. You'll see like little not footsteps. You'll see like a little, almost like a cone of sound before you can actually see an enemy. And the better the headphones you have, the further away you can detect the enemies. Very, very useful. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to want to make sure you turn in your feathers to get totems. And number 18 is going to be make sure you equip totems as soon as possible. I actually got really lucky and got the totem physical resistance really early on. I got this like super early. This is resistance 3. The reason this one is so good is because it gives you, you're immune to bleed, and it reduces physical damage by 8%. The immune to bleed is huge because when you get hit by gunfire, oftentimes you'll start bleeding. You have to use a bandage to stop it. This will prevent you from having to use bandages to stop the bleeding, and it is a very useful totem. But whatever totems you decide to use, just make sure you have 2 of them equipped as soon as possible. Number 19 is going to be to remember to carry a safe key with you at all times as well. Once you get these are the only keys that you cannot register in the key register at this point, but you want to make sure you have these because there are going to be safes around the world that you'll need a key for. These oftentimes have higher tier loot in them or more rare loot in them, so make sure you have at least 1 safe key with you. And when you find safe keys, bring them back and put them in your storage, and then just make sure you have 1 at all times. Number 20 is going to be to make sure you focus on completing at least 1 quest on each run that you do. The reason for this is sometimes you might go out and you're just trying to get some resources, but If you focus on doing at least one quest, and sometimes you can do 2 or 3 at the same time if they're in the same area, it's going to help you get through, because this game, as you can see, has a ton of quests. I'm not even close to completing them. And like I said, every time you turn in one quest, it seems like it unlocks 1 or 2 more often than not. And there's just so many quests, and these are all beneficial to you because they give you XP, they give you currency. They seem to be one of the best ways of getting XP. They're a good way of getting currency, and they also give you items as well as unlocking the ability to craft things. And then number 21 is going to be to make sure you sleep to pass time. So you'll see the time up in the left-hand corner here. You want to sleep and start your day at 6 a.m. So starting at 6 o'clock is going to be the best, because what that does is it's going to give you the maximum amount of time during daylight. So what I do is I usually set the time to a little bit before, hit sleep, and then I wake up, and then I can go run out and immediately go out and start doing the quests or the run that I want to do for that day. All right, the last set of tips is going to be involving actually during runs. So the first thing I always do when I go out into a run is I check the map and check the extraction points. So on the first map, there's usually only 1. Sometimes there might be 2. The other maps are going to have more. You'll notice that here I went out through the teleporter, which you unlock at some point. Normally you would come out the bunker. The bunker is technically an extraction point as well, but you can also go through the little green man here. Always make sure you check for extraction points as soon as you load into the map, because if maybe there's 3 extraction points, they're all up here, and you spawn down here, you're going to have to realize that you're going to have to get up there at some point, so you can kind of plan your route around where your extraction points are. Number 23 is going to be to read the notes that you find around the map. So you're going to find notes around the map. The reason these are useful is they will often give you clues or help you and when you're trying to complete some quests. As an example, there's quite a bit of fishing quests, and some of the fishing quests will require you to catch specific fish. These will actually tell you when the fish are available to be caught. Some of them are only caught during daytime, some at nighttime, some when it's raining. Others require different items to catch them. And so instead of using bait, the Azure Galaxius like R6 batteries. So you actually have to use R6 batteries as bait instead of the regular bait. So make sure you read all these notes as you find them, because they will be useful in completing quests as well as locating different things in the game. Number 24 is going to be don't greed loot, clear an area before doing so. So as you can see here on the screen, the little white lines here, those are showing the enemies that are far away before I could actually see them. Now I could greed this loot right here, but you can see there's 2 more enemies. So if I start looting this stuff here, there's a good chance these enemies up here are going to pop out on me and start attacking me and doing damage to me. So what I always do is clear out the area completely before I loot. Number 25 is when you're looting, there's some items you always want to pick up. So feathers, cold core fragments, the crimson core fragments, which are dropped by some of the tougher enemies, as well as any cash. Make sure you pick those up because they're always going to be useful. The core fragments are used in a lot of the upgrades for like the skill enhancements and stuff like that. And obviously you'll need the feathers for the totems. Number 26 is going to be when you're looting, if there's stuff you were going to normally leave behind, like food, what I always do is I always consume any food or drinks on the spot, because it'll top off my hydration meter as well as my energy meter. You'll obviously want to carry some food and drinks with you especially later on in the game, but that's an easy way of topping off your hydration and energy meter by just anytime you're looting, eating and drinking the stuff that you would normally leave behind. Number 27 is going to be that if you put the crosshair on the head of an enemy, it'll actually give you a headshot. So if you just point in the general direction, it's just going to usually give you a body shot. But if you actually put it on their head, you can get headshots, which do far more damage. It'll end up one-shotting a lot of enemies. There's also quests that require enemies to be headshot. So when you're using a sniper rifle, make sure you're putting your cursor on the enemy's head to make sure you're getting those headshots for the bonus damage. Number 28 is going to be there are hiding spots around the map. This is something I mentioned before. This is why I said carry a shovel. So you're going to want to dig these up because they'll have loot inside of them. You're usually going to get earthworms, and you're going to maybe get some other stuff here. So in this case, I got a mechanical key. I think I already have this one because it's for a car. And then there's wood here. So make sure you carry that shovel with you because there's hiding spots like this scattered across all the maps. Number 29 is going to be to clear the area before you start fishing. So this is a little fishing dock here. And what I usually do is I make sure I check to just the area around it, because if you're fishing, what'll end up happening is you can actually get stuck. You can actually get attacked while you're fishing. So you'll throw your fishing rod out here, and it takes a little bit of time before the fish actually gets caught. And this exact spot was the one where this happened to me. I ended up getting shot from up here by an enemy. So make sure you clear out the enemies when you're fishing before you start fishing. And the final tip here is going to be to make sure you extract before 2200. So up here, you'll see it's 1400 right now, which is like 2:40 in the afternoon. At 2200, which will be 10 p.m., it will turn nighttime. The reason you want to extract before that is because at nighttime, tougher enemies come out. Now, later on, you'll want to fight those tougher enemies, but early on in the game, you'll definitely want to make sure you extract before 2200. So that's 30 things I wish I knew before I started playing Escape from Duckov. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button. Consider subscribing for more content just like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.